Hey everybody, this is Jeremy, aka Mr. W on the forums. I'm going to show you around my house, show you a bunch of the games I have here. It's not my whole collection, but a lot of them are here in the house. Start with the pinball. This is my front room. It's a Space Invaders pinball. I bought it off Craigslist for $150. It did not work at all. The MPU in it was the incorrect MPU, and it was completely battery damaged. I couldn't repair it. I tried the best I could. So I replaced it with a Walsdawg MPU, newer technology. It's more stable. I also replaced the solenoid driver board with a newer one also, so I wouldn't have to worry about it because it was kind of flaky. And I replaced the power supply because it was also flaky. So basically this thing's been rebuilt a lot. It's not 100%. A lot of the bulbs were burned out or the sockets did not work. I've replaced most of them. There are a few that still do not work. As you can see, the playfield here on the here has a lot of wear, like other pinballs from this era did. They weren't properly maintained, and not clean. They easily wear the playfield because it's just painted. The cool thing, it's one of the coolest pinball machines, but it's not really a fun pinball machine. It has an infinity back glass. As you can see, as the lights go around, it kind of looks, the reflection looks like it keeps going and going and going. It's a pretty cool feature of this machine. It does work. I'll put a quarter in here and show you. It's one of the only machines I still have left that uses quarters instead of tokens. Sorry about the camera angle. I have to hold it while I'm playing and doing all that. I'll just let the ball go and you can hear it hitting. Basically, as you can see, it does work. I'm terrible at playing pinball one-handed, but you get the picture. I'll go ahead and cut her off and move on to the next thing. Next, we're going to swing into my kitchen, aka my shop. I live by myself, so I can put machines and projects in my kitchen without getting bitched at. So first thing we'll look at here is this change machine I just picked up a couple of months ago. I've been working on getting it all fixed up. Didn't work that well when I got it. It came out of a laundromat. It had one hopper in it, so it's only set up to take quarters or give out quarters. The build changer does not work. I will have to replace that. I'll probably retrofit it with a newer system somewhere down the line, but it's a couple $100. For right now though, what I did was I replaced one of these amber warning lights or service lights. I replaced it with a lighted push button, so whenever you push the button, let me show you here, push the button, it dispenses 4 tokens for you every time you hit it. Alright, and it also still has the added function, since this is a lighted push button. When it does have the full hopper, it will still light up red, so you know that the hopper for the bill is full. Not necessary right now, but I do expect to get it all working somewhere down the line. Like I said, it only came with one hopper. I bought one hopper on eBay. I got it cheap, and I will eventually get a third hopper just so I have them all. It's not necessary for my tokens, but still. I'm going to go ahead and show you my project here that I'm working on. This is a Midway Asteroid. It's basically a clone of Atari, I think Space War, I think is what it was. But what I've done so far, I've rebuilt. It's a black and white monitor. This machine's older than I am. I've rebuilt the monitor. I'm pretty sure it works. I don't really have a good signal to look at, but it acts like it's working. I have redone this whole harness here. It's a brand new harness. The old one was pretty much shot, and that's the reason why the motherboard doesn't work. I need to find someone that can repair the motherboard for me, but a lot of people work on black and whites. So I'm kind of stalled right now. I'm not going to do any of the actual physical work, making the cabinet look better, until I get the game working. Let's see if I can get the 6-slot working. Sometimes it's finicky. Sounds like it's working. Gotta take a step back so you can kind of see it. I redid the letters on the side by hand. They're mostly wiped off. I redid them by hand. This is also a cabinet I used to make the tutorial for the EL panel replacement several years ago. I'll turn off the lights here so you can see that all the panels do work on it. and so on. So there you go. Turn the light back on. I'll kind of show you this. This is kind of my work area here for doing repairs and soldering and stuff. I'll get more into this. I'm going to do another video later about repairing my station and everything. So I'll kind of show you that. Turn this machine off so we can move on. I apologize. I have to cycle on machines here and there. This house was not designed for arcade games, so I can power up maybe 3 or 4 machines at a time. So let's come into this arcade here. I'll kind of do a slide around so you can kind of see what games I have before I try to turn them on and see if they all work, because that can be an adventure when you own several machines. That's a Japanese Pachislo right there. It's a Street Fighter 2 Pachislo. Let's start with the Mortal Kombats. See if they all boot up and if they're being friendly today. This Mortal Kombat, I bought it from a guy who was going to MAME it, and he got bored and then he decided to sell it. As you can see, the control panel has a Mortal Kombat 3 conversion control panel on it. I'm eventually going to switch that back to Mortal Kombat 1. It has a, I have a Mortal Kombat 1 overlay, but I'm kind of waiting to see if someone will reproduce it, silk screen it. I have a printed one. But it does coming on, as you can see, Mortal Kombat 2. Let's say in Mortal Kombat 1 I paid $150 for the cabinet and the monitor. Didn't have anything else but that in it. Mortal Kombat 2 I bought probably 11 or 12 years ago at the local Lands Castle for $500. At the time it was the most expensive cabinet I had. Mortal Kombat 4 cabinet I also got from the same guy who was going to MAME it. He sold me that cab for $125 with no motherboard or anything. I just happened to have a motherboard. But as you see, it works. All my games in here run off my tokens. I have custom tokens that I had built or designed and made specifically for my arcade. It's called Walsdawg Arcade. Those tokens work in my changer that I showed you back there. All the games in these 2 arcades run on tokens. The Neo 6 slot still uses quarters, and so does the pinball machine. So here's my Neo 1 slot. I got Bust Move Again in it right now. I got this machine from off eBay for $150 from a guy in Virginia Beach. Took a 3-hour one-way road trip to go pick it up several years ago. This is a Aladdin's Castle machine that I bought for $100 from Aladdin's Castle probably 12 years ago. Has a Romstar Neo kit in it when I got it. I've replaced it with a Hyper 64. And as you can see, I've got custom Hyper 64 mini marquees made for every game. So I can put any game in it and play it. But I still have everything else in there. If I want to put the 1 slot back in it and play a regular Neo, I can. So that's all good there. I can show you the next ones. Alright, we got the WrestleMania and my Japanese Pachislo, my Street Fighter 2 Pachislo. Pachislo is pretty fun. It gets really loud, especially when you're winning. But it's pretty fun. Pretty much anyone, even people that don't like games, will play that. This WrestleMania, I'm sorry I don't have real good lighting on this side to show you. But this thing is mint. The WrestleMania is one of the rarest midway cabinets. I bought this from a member of the KLOV forums, and I had it shipped from Maryland here to my restaurant, and then I brought it into my house. The thing is beautiful. WrestleMania is fun to me. It feels very incomplete. In fact, the only character I think that they did complete was Undertaker. He has his finishing move. No one else really has their finishing moves or fatalities or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, like I said, my Japanese Pachislo. I got this off eBay also for I think $150 6 or 7 years ago. Street Fighter 2. Like I said, it's pretty fun. Let's move on to the next. Sorry, hit the wrong button. Alright. You can hear all the power supplies sound like aircraft carrier going on there. Alright, start with the Pac-Man. I bought the Pac-Man. I won it off eBay from a guy fairly local for a couple $100. It did not work. when I got it home, I took the back panel off, I cleaned the fuses and the fuse holders, popped them back in, and it fired right up. It's been pretty solid ever since. It was dirty as hell. I took all the glass off, cleaned the monitor real good. You can see it's really good. I didn't cap it or anything. It's still the same monitor. Hadn't been worked on since the game came out. It still looks beautiful. It's a G07 monitor, which are some of the best monitors ever made. Sides look pretty good. I mean, you got the normal little bit of hand wear. It's really not that bad. I replaced all the T-molding. The T-molding that was on it was yellow. Replaced all that. That was a chore in itself. This is my Killer Instinct cabinet. I can kind of roll Pac-Man out of the way here. You can kind of see the sides pretty good. It only has a few minor scratches on it. I bought this from a Marine who was getting stationed elsewhere and he didn't want to take it with him. I think I paid $600 for this in 2008, but it's in really, really good shape. I was willing to pay that money, no problem. This Killer Instinct 2 has more of a story to it. I got this in a trade with another fellow KLOVer. What happened was I had done some repairs for another Marine up here. He had 4 machines he was trying to sell, and only one of them worked. And I told him he was asking too much money for them not working. I was like, I will fix them for you if you give me the Killer Instinct that's not working that you have. And about 2 months later, he called me back. He's like, it's a deal, man. You get these other 2 machines working, I'll give you the Killer Instinct that's not working. So I repaired the 2 machines he had so he could sell them. He gave me the Killer Instinct that wasn't working. I was able to get the Killer Instinct working by replacing the hard drive. And then I traded that Killer Instinct for this Killer Instinct 2 dedicated, which is also a really nice looking machine. While I'm in this room, let me show you some other stuff. My Soul Edge poster is one of my favorite posters. I got this from arcade way back when Soul Edge came out for the arcade. I was cool with the manager of the arcade here, and he gave me a lot of posters, and I'll show you some of the other ones. This here is the award I got for winning the Blockbuster Store Championship back in 1995. I also won it in '94 here in the store in town. Not to brag or anything, but let's move on. Well, let me show you this other stuff. This is just a Pac-Man picture some of my employees bought for me. One of them saw it in a store and thought that would go good here, and yes, it does. And then this is my Mortal Kombat 3 poster. Let's try to show you that. Sorry about the glare. I guess it's kind of a rare poster. A lot of people want it. Here's another poster while we're going through the hallway. My Mortal Kombat Annihilation soundtrack poster. I got that from the arcade also. And some of these other posters down here. It's a Soul Calibur tournament poster, Tekken Tag tournament poster, and this is a poster for a Blitz tournament they had way back in the day. And I'll show you this banner I had made. It's a custom banner. It says, see if I can get a better angle. Walsdawg Arcade, classic and modern pinball and video games by appointment only. Reserve your spot today. Of course, no one's going to reserve it because that was some bullshit that I put up there just to have it look professional. Here's a frame side art of Primal Rage, the conversion side art. I like the way it looks, so I framed it. I put it up there. Before I get in this the last arcade, I just kind of want to show you this room. It's a mess. This used to be my test cabinet. It has a blown monitor right now. I will get that fixed eventually. Right now I'm using my old school Mass System Super Gun to test games. This right here is just the computer I use for programming chips, for doing repairs and Phoenixes and stuff like that. I have a couple of CPS2 games down here. I just don't have a case for my Vampire Hunter 2 yet. That's a conversion Hyper Street Fighter Anniversary. But all these boxes contain 2 CPS2 games. And that my favorite thing to collect is CPS2. So there you go. I just wanted to show that to you. I have an extra 6-slot motherboard right there, by the way. And a couple of, sorry about being dark, but a couple of all-in-one Marvel vs. Capcom black PCBs. Alright, head back into my other arcade, which used to be my bedroom. I don't have a bed. I sleep on a really comfortable chair. So let me start these up for you. I'll kind of give you the backstory of these as they're booting up. This is my Galaga. Bought this Galaga for 150 bucks. It had some damage on the front. It did not work. Again, when I got it home, it had a switching power supply in it already, but the power supply was bad. So when I got it home, all I did was put a new power supply in it that I had lying around. Came right up, cleaned it up, fixed the front panel, which is, which I have, I kind of logged on my Flickr page. If you want to look at my Flickr page, you can see the repair I did there. But it works. It's worked ever since I got it. I did rebuild the monitor just for the hell of it. It looks pretty good still. This is my Asteroids Deluxe. I got it non-working for 100 bucks. A guy in Wilmington, which is about a 2-hour drive from here. I had to rebuild the power supply, and I had to rebuild the monitor. It's a vector monitor, and it does work. And right now I have a multi-kit in it from we'll play in this machine. Then I have right here another $100 acquisition. It was Lethal Enforcers. It's kind of a rough cabinet. The front looks alright, but the sides are very rough. I got it for 100 bucks also. Did not have any sound. I was able to fix the sound by replacing all the caps on the motherboard. So it's nice and loud now, as you can hear. Also only had one gun when I got it. I bought and repaired several guns, so I've got some extra guns for it too in the closet that are working if I ever need them. Everything does work. Here's another one that was $150. It's a dedicated upright Ridge Racer 2 machine. Again, it didn't work when I got it. The guy swore that it worked before I came over to the house. It would not boot up, and the monitor was totally shot. So I rebuilt the monitor first. It was so bad that I was able to pull the video connector out of the PCB of the monitor with no effort. That's how bad the solder was on it. I completely reworked the monitor chassis, and now it was beautiful again, as you can see. I also had to replace the potentiometer in the steering wheel because it was shot. You could not drive it. It would just jerk everywhere. So I replaced the potentiometer in there, and I replaced the potentiometer in the gas pedal also. Now the game works perfectly. It's the only racing game I have, and I do like it, even though I would much rather have a sit down eventually. But for the space I have, it's good. Hold on here. Sorry. Trying to get these cut off so I can start. Okay, back. Got that shut off. Next ones that we're going to look at. Also have a story on these. I've got, since it's the first one to boot up, I got my Virtua Fighter machine. This thing is really nice. I actually bought 2 Virtua Fighter machines at the same time. I got a deal 2 for 500 bucks. This is probably about 11 or 12 years ago also. And what I ended up doing was taking all the parts off of both and making this one right here really nice. And then I sold the second machine to a friend. And then he ended up selling the machine back to me because he couldn't take it with him when he moved. And you might recognize this as another Virtua Fighter cabinet. I used Namco's conversion guide for NFL Blitz, and I converted Virtua Fighter into a JAMA cabinet, which I wouldn't do again nowadays, but it does have a beautiful monitor, so I'm glad I do have it. I do not like conversions, but back then, you know what the hell. But it's got a Blitz Showtime Gold 3.0 version, both of them. It's a pretty fun game. It's only the 2 play. I have it set up for 2 players, though. I can't play 4 players. And then down here I have one of my cocktail cabinets, the only one I keep in my house still because they take up so much damn space. It's a Frogger. I bought it for 200 bucks. It worked, but the monitor did not work. I wasn't able originally to fix the monitor. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, so I actually had replaced it with a 19-inch Hendrix Polo. And then I was eventually, once I got better at repairing monitors, I was able to repair the original monitor. So it has this original Sega Nanao monitor back into it. You see it's pretty good. And Frogger's one of my favorite old school games, so that can stay in my house. I also have a cocktail table of Centipede. I have a Missile Command, and I have a Deco multi-game. They're all in storage, along with several other of my machines. Move on to the next ones. And what you're going to see here is my 4-player X-Men. I bought this from another guy that owned a tattoo shop in Wilmington. Like I said, 2 hours from here. 150 bucks. The monitor only showed red when I got it. So I rebuilt that. I still need to kind of put the tube on a rejuvenator, but it's fine. It's not so bad I can't play it. It is loud. This is a Super Mario Brothers. I think I paid 300 for it just because I really wanted it. It works pretty well also. This one here is one of the first machines I ever got. My dad got it for me when one of the grocery stores he was working at closed down. The owner never came to get it, so we just threw it in the back of the truck and brought it home. It's actually Express Raider, which to me is a really fun game. I really enjoy playing it. That's why I still haven't converted it back to the Super Pac-Man that they used, the Super Pac-Man cabinet converted to Express Raider. I just really like the game, so I keep it. Kind of show you, let me turn the lights off so I can show you that the monitor is still pretty good for that. So that's basically it for what's in my house here. Hope you guys enjoyed my crappy video. I will have another video of my repair stuff for noobs, like the kind of tools and stuff that are good for noobs to have. And maybe I'll make a video of what I have in storage. I have a lot of projects left in there, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man, the Sega Spider-Man, and a bunch of other projects in there that I'll eventually get to. Alright, let me know what you guys think. Appreciate it. Bye.